All right, let's talk about Vicor Corporation. Their Q3 2025 earnings report just dropped, and folks, it didn't just beat the Street's expectations, it completely shattered them. So we're going to dig in because this story is way, way bigger than just one solid quarter. And it all kicks off with this number right here, a positive 215% earnings per share surprise. I mean, come on. The market was looking for 20 cents a share. Vicor came in and delivered 63 cents. A beat that massive just makes you lean in and ask, okay, what is really going on here? And this, right here, is the answer. This is the whole thesis in a nutshell. What we're watching in real time is Vicor transforming itself. They're going from just being a company that sells components to a company that licenses the fundamental intellectual property that the entire AI world is being built on. So, before we get into the grand strategy, let's just ground ourselves in the numbers that sent that shockwave through the market. This is the foundation for everything else. I mean, just look at the sheer scale of this outperformance. It's staggering. We talked about the EPS beat, but look at revenue. It absolutely crushed expectations. Over $110 million when the Street was pegged at $95 million. That's a $15 million surprise that frankly nobody saw coming. And you know, the strength was just everywhere you looked. Gross margins, a beautiful expansion up to 57.5%. The company is just printing cash, generating almost $40 million from operations. They've got a rock-solid balance sheet, and they're so confident they went out and bought back $15 million of their own stock. It's the picture of perfect financial health. But to really get the why behind those incredible numbers, we've got to look under the hood at the new engine that's driving this thing, their IP and licensing strategy. Okay, this is where the story gets really, really interesting. You see this number? Roughly $300 million. That's what management thinks this licensing business could be worth through 2026. This isn't a small side project. It completely reframes the entire investment case. You're shifting from a company that just sells hardware to one with a high-margin recurring revenue stream. It's a game changer. And hey, this isn't just some far-off promise. The momentum is already here. Just this year, they've been executing perfectly. They settled with a massive hyperscaler after a big win at the Trade Commission. They settled another dispute. And they even expanded a deal they already had. They're just ticking off the boxes one by one. So what's the bottom line from all that? Right now, as we speak, Vicor is on a run rate of almost $90 million a year from licensing alone. That creates a brand new, stable, and incredibly profitable foundation for the entire company's earnings. Of course, you can't have a licensing business without having something incredibly valuable to license. You need a deep technology moat. So let's talk about the core innovation here that is becoming so critical for the future of AI. It all comes down to something called vertical power delivery, or VPD. The easiest way to think about it is this. Traditional power delivery is like trying to navigate rush hour traffic on congested city streets to get to a skyscraper. VPD is like building a dedicated 10-lane superhighway directly underneath that skyscraper. It's a fundamentally better way to deliver the massive amounts of power these AI chips need. And this really highlights the problem they're solving. On the earnings call, management had a great line. They said, conventional power is a game of pick your poison. You can have this, but you sacrifice that. It's always a trade-off. Vicor's VPD solution just breaks that trade-off. It gives you higher power density, a thinner design, and it actually lets the AI processor reach its full potential. And here is the metric that tells the whole story. The next generation of AI chips require current densities greater than 3 amps per square millimeter. The competition, using those old pick-your-poison methods, they're struggling to get past 1.5. Vicor's tech is specifically built to hit this next-gen target. They're already where the puck is going. And just to be crystal clear, this is not a science project. This isn't just happening in a lab somewhere. The company confirmed it. Their next-gen VPD solution is on track for a production launch with their lead customer in the first quarter of 2026. This is happening. Okay, so with all that in mind, let's look forward. What's next? What are the key things that could propel this story even further? What should you, as an investor, be watching for? So here's your checklist. First, obviously, look for new licensing deals with other big tech players. Second, watch for news on them enforcing the ITC wins they already have. And the real kicker, the wild card, they haven't even begun to assert the patents that cover vertical power delivery itself. That's a huge club they're still holding in their back pocket. All right, that brings us to the final analysis. How do we wrap all of this up into an actionable investment thesis? It's time for our next call. Let's cut right to the chase. You have a fundamental shift in the business model. You've got a clear runway of catalysts ahead. So how do you play it? What's the trade? Our rating is outperform. And here's the core reason why. We believe the market is only just beginning to re-rate this stock. It's still being valued in many ways like a cyclical hardware company. The market hasn't fully digested that this is now a high-growth, high-margin IP platform that literally holds some of the keys to the AI kingdom. That re-rating process has a long way to go. So here's a trade idea. For a story like this that's driven by these big binary events, long-dated call options offer a really interesting structure. Think 12 to 18 months out. It lets you capture that massive potential upside from, say, a new hyperscaler deal, while completely defining your risk. The major caveat here, of course, is timing. These IP deals are notoriously lumpy, and their timing is almost impossible to predict. The bottom line is that the transformation at Vicor is one of the most compelling stories in the entire semiconductor space today. It's a potent mix of deep, defensible technology and a savvy, aggressive IP strategy. This is not financial advice.